we show what the fake flat earthers are saying about it first?
Yeah, I mean, well, right off the bat here, let's just state a couple obvious things. That the lengths of these three circles, everybody here can understand. I want to keep this as simple as possible. As you can see here, the Tropic of Cancer, which is the inside ring, is the smallest. The equator is the second largest, and the Tropic of Capricorn is much greater the size than the other two rings, correct? And then the outside ring, which they call Antarctica, is a much even larger circle, 60-something thousand miles around. So I just want everybody to understand that. That's moving forward. The key to this model, this AE or any of the circling sun models with sun and moon up in the sky where they show you this, the key is to the length of the different, oh, it's labeled. It's great. You got the lengths right there. 6,000 miles on the equator, 7,567, so that's 7,567 miles on the Tropic of Capricorn, and 4,433 miles on the Tropic of Cancer. These are the key points to this model.
Yeah, so this is by logic you come to these conclusions. Now, the fake flat earthers, they're going to want to disagree with this big time. So this right here is here, let's start with a different debunk than we were going to start with. Because this graphic gives these radiuses here, it's real simple. 4433 miles. If you go to a circumference calculator, let's go 44. That means that the circumference is 27,853 miles. You see a problem with that?
Yeah, it's way huger than
Yeah, the equator is 24,900.
which is supposedly the longest distance around the sphere ball Earth.
Right, yeah. So the inside Tropic of Cancer is already way too large. So now let's do 6,000. That would be the equator. So now the circumference is 37,000 miles, 700. We'll round that up right there.
So let me get this straight. You find this picture on Google Images with some radiuses, draw onto it, and then claim all fake flat earthers support that. I don't think the circling sun support that, moron. Whoever wrote down those numbers on this map is just an imbecile. They just made up something. This is how we calculate distances on maps. Here we have the equator at the prime meridian. And we measure 280 degrees east. That would be a half of the circle on the equator. Let's compute it. 12,428 statue miles. Let's do the other half now. $12,428 statue miles. Since this map has a working coordinate system, we measure distances with the coordinate system.
The equator and the Freemason New World Order pressurized pizza dome is 37,000 miles.
No, we measure two half circles of 12,428 miles, and according to this map and the coordinate system, the distance, the circle is 24,856 statue miles, and not 37,000 miles, idiot.
Alright, that doesn't make any sense, everybody. Everybody knows that the sun travels roughly 1,000 miles per hour at the equator, and it takes 24 hours.
I don't mind you guys pointing out some bullshit of those so-called fake flat earthers, but now you're pushing some bullshit also. because I never heard a flat earther claim the circumference of the equator is 37,000 miles. Maybe teach your viewers something new about that circling sun that travels between the tropics and the reason for that. As we can see here, there are two data sets. The one on top is the data from the celestial body we observe in real time. This data is the so-called mean sun, and that only exists on paper, and that goes around in 24 hours. But in reality, nothing goes around. The declination always stay between the tropics if we move this slider. It counts from minus 23 to plus 23 between the tropics. But as we can see, the observed sun don't travel between the tropics. This is mean sun data, and each celestial body have a mean version, a fake version that goes around in 24 hours and make the globe go round. And those fake flat earthers use this data to make the sun go between the tropics. But that is the fake sun. In the model, the sun must go with 15 degrees an hour, just like the globe model. But we don't observe that. We can easily test this ourselves on this app. Let's see the observed data. The azimuth of the sun is 90.33 degree. And here the Greenwich hour angle is 2. The Greenwich hour angle, that's that blue ring, and it counts from 0 to 360 in a clockwise motion, and that's a little bit different than our coordinate system that counts 180 degrees west and 180 degrees to east. So this goes from 0 to 360, and this is what the celestial bodies, the mean celestial bodies, use.
The apparent motion of the sun is not uniform. For this reason, it would be difficult to construct a clock capable of keeping this irregular time. Therefore, a mean or imaginary sun is used. This mean sun is assumed to have a uniform rate of motion with respect to the Earth, and that rate of motion is equal to the average rate of the apparent or true sun during a year. The time measured by the mean or imaginary sun is called mean or civil time. The third is called mean time or civil time and uses a mean or imaginary sun as its reference point.
So this moves with exactly 15 degrees in 1 hour, and the observed sun does not 15 degrees an hour. Let's move to 8 o'clock. that went from 2 degrees to 70 degrees. That's 15 degrees. And this went from 90 to 98, so that's only 8 degrees. 70, 48 and 98.18. So this 8 degrees and this 15 degrees. Let's move another hour. So this went from 70 to 32. And this from 98 to 106. So that's again 8 degrees and 15 degrees. Let's do another hour. So this went from 106 to 116, 10 degrees. And this from 32 to 47, that's 15 degrees. 2 data sets. Fake sun to make the world go round in 24 hours. And the observed data, which never do 15 degrees an hour, only on the equinoxes.
All right, so 24,000 miles. It can't be 37,000 like easy math will do. And then the Tropic of Capricorn, check this out, 75, 67.
Maybe you need to check. Let's check out some mean fake sun supporters.
Tropics, the way Australia is positioned, and on those projections where the sun would have to be rotating between those two tropics, they're looking in totally the totally opposite direction. So how can a flat Earth explain that?
No, you only look at one sun. There's only one sun moving over the tropics.
So if one sun, I mean the mean sun, is traveling between the tropics, then for your location, the sun can never be south.
Sunrises in the east, in the south.
Yeah, sun rises in the east, in the south, game over. That means I'm in the south and it still rises in the east, just like it rises in the east for people in the north.
Yes. How can the sun rise south of east from your position? Well, actually, I don't know how far south you are, but
yeah, it rises southeast from me and sets southwest.
Always, or does it
Obviously,
rise?
it moves around.
Yeah, of course, but it moves both north and south of.
It's never
east.
north of me though.
It's never ever north of you.
Never north of you. Huh. If the sun is traveling between the tropics, like you claim, then the sun must be north of you.
Flat Earth explain that?
No, you only look at one sun. There's only one sun moving over the tropics.
Way the sun rotates 15 degrees an hour, no matter where you are on Earth.
15 degrees an hour is also possible with that fake mean sun that goes around the earth with 15 degrees an hour.
And that actually is also only possible because the Earth's a globe and the sun is very far away. If it was close and local, it would actually have to be going like 1,000 miles an hour and just rotating constantly.
15 degrees an hour is 15 degrees an hour, no matter where you are, on the inside of the circle or on the outside of the circle. Now tell me, I'm going 1 hour forward. Then tell me, how much degree this mean sun, this fake sun that travels over the tropics have moved? Yeah, 15 degrees. Everywhere you are, it doesn't matter where you stand on Earth. the mean sun always do 15 degrees an hour.
And everybody looks at the same sun, so
Yeah.
nobody's looking in different directions.
So if everybody look at the same sun, then it would be possible to triangulate it.
You do know it's just
No.
location based, just as like where we show the car moving across the street from right to left. If you go to the other side of the road and look back at it, the car will appear to move left to right.
Ah, it's all location based, and therefore we use a car. Yeah, that's logic.
Still the same position. You're just looking at it in a different direction because of your position.
That's northeast, isn't it? On that projection there, they're looking northeast, but in reality they only
I look northeast when I see a sunrise.
But it moves both north and south of.
It's never
Jupiter.
north of me though.
It's never ever north of you.
That's northeast, isn't it? On that projection there, they're looking northeast, but in reality they only.
I look northeast when I see a sunrise.
But it moves both north and south of.
It's never
Jupiter.
north of me though.
It's never ever north of you.
I look northeast when I see a sunrise.
Of
It's never
Jupiter.
north of me though.
Flat side, you contradicted yourself. You are just a piece of shit. Or a moron, that's also possible.
You do know.
The southern hemisphere destroys flat Earth.
No, you do know the sun always rises east to west, no matter where you are on Earth. Okay, you can see on the screen now.
Yes.
Okay, so,
So
you see Australia.
you see Australia there, east and west. That points out a way across the supposed ice wall. East and west Australia. One goes to way out, whereas they would both actually on a flat Earth have to be looking north to see what they
Sorry.
see. But they don't. They look east and west.
Sorry, we got the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Cancer. It's going east to west. The sun is traveling in the circle, correct?
Only the mean sun travel in circles. Flat side. Why you guys discussing this fake sun that goes around between the tropics? You're not studying the shit very well, you piece of shit.
So if you in
Yes.
Australia, you're looking at sunrise, you're looking to the east. You're never looking to the north with the sunrise.
To me, it looks like when the sun is traveling over the Tropic of Cancer, that the sun is more north than east.
That's northeast, isn't it? On that projection there, they're looking northeast, but in reality they only.
I look northeast when I see a sunrise because I'm on the northern parts of the earth.
Well, we're talking about Australia at the moment. Don't move away from that.
It's
you
the
know,
same.
just
It's the
Australia
same.
alone.
Just
The-
like,
The way Australia observes
Do you-
the sun is impossible on a flat Earth.
no, it's not. You literally
is.
not understanding. You can see always rises east to west. Follow my mouse. You see it following
Yeah.
east to west.
Ah, it's always east to west, between the tropics. Always between the tropics. Do you understand, Flatsoid? There is nothing traveling between the tropics. Tell me, the sunrise is east and the sunset is west. No, it's called southwest or southeast, idiot.
So they're looking
And most of those
Eastleigh.
people in Australia would have to be looking northeast or northwest to see that.
east.
Clearly, Flat, so I don't understand true directions. I don't want to be lost at sea with Flatsoid. Imagine Team Flatsoid is being lost at sea And now he's going to navigate. And he knows the sun travels between the tropics. Oh look! He's pointing at the sun. Hey boss, are you sure this is northeast direction? Yeah, of course, because the sun travels between the tropics.
Correct?
No, not correct. Clown.
Obviously,
Well,
north.
sunrise or sunset, it doesn't matter. I'm talking about both of them, and they both happen in a direction that would be impossible if the sun never went below the Tropic of Capricorn.
Dude.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You would never ever look east or west to see the sunrise or set.
Even on your globe, you would see the same thing, mates.
You see that because it's the truth. You know, you actually have shown at the moment no explanation, have you? You've just kind of just said, oh, circled your mouse around, but you haven't explained why what people witness in reality is different to what you're saying.
I think flatsoid have an orientation problem. This is southeast flatsoid. So why you want people believe there is a sun traveling between the tropics? Only the fake sun do that. Here, it's at the Tropic of Capricorn. But the sun pointing to southeast. And sets in the southwest from your location and still travel around the Tropic of Capricorn.
That's just a non-moving picture, and Earth isn't like that. It's on an axial tilt, so that's where these changes come in.
I agree Earth isn't like this because this is a false depiction of Earth, but the difference is you don't understand. Even on your globe, it shows exactly the same as what we just showed of the direction on the flat Earth map.
It doesn't at all. It doesn't at all.
Okay, I'm going to do this again. If I draw a sun here, you would agree if they're looking northeast. Anybody in Australia is looking northeast at the sun here.
According to the model, that totally depends on the season, of course. During the winter months, the sun is south of the equator. And in the summer, it's north of the equator.
I don't think you understand that the flat Earth map shows
Well,
exactly the same as what you're saying doesn't happen on a globe.
Not exactly the same, flatsoid. Depends on the seasons. These are the maximum sunrise and sunset angles during the summer and the winter. It looks kind of similar. But the problem is, if you are a flat earther and you're pushing that mean sun that travels between the tropics, then you have a big problem with the sun in the winter, because that's impossible when the sun travels between the tropics. And with this angle, the sun cannot even travel in the summer on the Tropic of Capricorn. This is like 25 degrees in the other direction. You cannot explain that away with perspective or anything else. It's just the observed angle. You cannot change that.
Let's share my screen again with a new one. You can try and deny it all you want. You just literally...
I'm not denying it. I'm just
ignoring-
saying you don't really understand what you're trying to debunk.
This Baltar thinks some Earth is tilted because he sees the sun going higher and lower in the sky during the seasons. If you are a Baltar or a flat earther and you push suns that travel between the tropics, then you don't realize you're pushing the mean sun, the fake sun, that travels around with 15 degrees an hour.
Now, maybe we can turn this so it maybe makes it easier for you. There we go. Now this is Australia again, on like we saw on the globe. Here's the sun in the same
Okay.
position we just saw on the globe. Which
Yeah.
direction are they looking?
Yeah, flatsoid. In which direction are you looking? You're telling this Baltar his whole model is wrong, and since you don't ascribe to a model, you try to explain this model. And you totally fuck it up because you use the mean sun. Flatsoid. There is no magic sun traveling between the tropics. That's globe rhetoric, and you're repeating it. It seemed that was not the northeast direction.
That sun never goes between those two tropics. So the way you visualize the sun would never change between those two tropics. But because of the tilt, there is massive differences to where you notice the sunrise and sunset. But I'm glad you actually have got that picture of the Earth up, because the original question was, can you explain the length difference that matches all known navigation since navigation bloody began? Can you explain why the two tropics are measurably the same size, Cancer and Capricorn, but on a flat Earth projection like you just showed there, it would literally be about 30% at least larger measurably? How do people not get lost every time they travel south of the equator? Please tell me.
First of all, you are false equivocating a globe onto flat Earth.
Capricorn actually being the same as Cancer, which we keep going away from. You still haven't explained why those two tropics have the same measurable distance.
You understand, piece of shit? Maps use scale. So the distance from the Tropic of Capricorn is the same as on the Tropic of Cancer. The scale is 1,000 statute miles, and we can lay it over the Tropic of Capricorn. That would be about 1,000 statute miles. And this will be also 1000 statute miles. It's called a scale. And here, on the equator, that's also 1000 miles. It's called scale. I have enough of you two clowns. Let's go back to those other two clowns. I have enough of you two clowns. Let's go back to those other two clowns.
Easy math will do. And then the Tropic of Capricorn, check this out, 7567.
Maybe you need to change the title of your video. Every Friday, Sunspeed proves anyone that promotes the AE map and model is either a shill or an imbecile. I should make it anyone that promotes the mean sun on a map is either a shill or an imbecile.